So good morning to all. So for today's topic kita nak tengok the election system ataupun kita kata sistem mengundi lah. So these are the learning content untuk this chapter. So ada 5 subtopic, iaitu the first one, you need to understand what does it mean by election, and then moving on kita akan tengok the theories of franchise. And next, number 3, kita tengok what factor that influence the voter behaviour. And then kita akan tengok what does it mean by electoral area. So dia ada 2 jenis, satu single, satu multiple, and last but not least kita akan tengok lah process of the election in Malaysia. So I do believe that kita semua tahu and kita semua aware dengan this election system, dan saya percaya kita pun semua pernah keluar mengundi. So what does it mean by voters atau pengundi? So voters can be defined as the people or citizen who enjoy the rights to elect their representative, or a person who has a legal right to vote. So this is known as voter. So basically this voter, they exercise their power of voting and also periodically elect their representatives. So for example, like Malaysia, our PRU is being held for 5 years. Then voters can be said as the small fraction of the whole population, and the entire body of voters or electors is known as electorate. So selain daripada voters, kita juga digelar sebagai electorate. The whole people minus those at any time are denied the right to vote. So election pula. So tadi kita dah tengok dah definisi voter. So kita nak tengok definisi election. So election is an organised process in which the people choose a person to a position of public importance such as presidency, or a group of people to represent them to refer kepada the people lah, the voters, in national or state assembly. So this process of election involve 4 step lah. So the first one, the act of selecting someone, the representative. Number 2, election is the exercise to deliberate our choice. Number 3, we cast votes to select the representative of a position ataupun a political office. And last but not least, election can be held in many settings, from students union to corporate office or national polling. So election ni bukan sahaja waktu pilihan raya umum, tapi election ni juga berlaku bila you nak melantik seseorang presiden dalam you punya trade union, ataupun you nak melantik wakil kelas, wakil pelajar, so on and so forth. So this is called as election. So apa fungsi election ni? So fungsi election yang pertama adalah election are the means to render the governments accountable to the governed. So maksudnya kita perlu melantik melantik seorang wakil bagi mengurus tadbir kita punya negara. Number 2, elections are the means to choose those who will guide and direct affairs of the government. So again, in Malaysia we have 3 level of government. You have federal government, you are the state government, and so you are the local government. So each level of the government, they have their own election process. Therefore, these people are being choose, and then they need to do their duties and direct affairs of the government. So basically kita pun tahu state government is the middle person between the people and also the between the people and federal government. Number 3, so elections provide legitimacy to the government. Betul. Sekiranya kita undi dia telah dilantik, maka lantikan dia itu legit untuk menjadi sebuah kerajaan. Number 4, elections are expected to convince the outside world that the government has mass support, ataupun kita kata gain support, ataupun to gain vote lah. So for example, like our ministers in Malaysia kan, once they has been elected, so they will be the representative of Malaysia to do the diplomatic relations with other countries. Therefore, it functions to convince the outside world that this government has massive support from the people. And last but not least, the functions of elections is to serve the function of mobilization or change, ataupun kita kata membawa kepada perubahan lah, because you carry the people voice. People elected you because of people elected you because they have the trust that this government will make a change. So kita nak tengok subtopik yang seterusnya, iaitu theories of franchise. So dalam political science, franchise ni bermaksud a right to vote. So franchise refers to the rights to vote granted to citizens by the state in a country. So one of the most difficult problems of democracy, ataupun kita kata one of the question, what should be the trust basis of franchise? So there are two prominent school of thought ataupun teoris mencadangkan tentang dua jenis franchise tersebut, iaitu kita ada universal franchise and then kita ada limited franchise. So kita akan tengok what does it mean by universal franchise ataupun kita kata suffrage. So this school of thought emerged in the 18th century. For example, when the doctrines of natural rights, equality of man and also popular sovereignty were favorite themes of every political thinker. So the idea about this universal franchise, number one, is that this school of thought explained that sovereignty ultimately resided in the people and it was the right of every citizen to vote and participate in the determination of the policy of government. Number two, democracy postulated equality of man and also political equality can be assured only when all the citizens were granted the right to vote. Number three, to safeguard and also represent the interests of the people, it was essential that everyone must possess the right to have his or her opinion that be counted in the final decision of public affairs. So these three idea explain about universal franchise. Number one is sovereignty, kedaulatan. Kedaulatan di mana semua rakyat mempunyai hak untuk mengundi. And then undian itu akan menentukan sesebuah pentadbiran kerajaan dalam policy making. Number two, demokrasi. Adanya orang kata apa, kesamarataan antara rakyat dalam kalangan rakyat untuk mengundi. Number tiga, kita kata untuk apa? Untuk safeguard and also untuk menjagalah kepentingan ataupun kita kata menjaga hak rakyat. Number two, limited franchise. So this school of thought was led by Blanche Shelley, Lecky, J.S. Mills and also Sir Henry Maine, which against the idea of universal suffrage tadi. So they proposed this idea. So number one, they suggested that all citizens of the state should not possess the right to vote. Number two, franchise ataupun kita kata right to vote was not an inherent right of a citizen. So it was a right which was conferred by the state and should not granted to all. Number three, it was scared right which required an informal exercise of judgment in the election of representative. And last but not least, the school of thought proposed that to extend it to the unenlightened and also ignorant masses was to invite the dark days for democracy. So again, limited franchise ni, mereka ini against the universal franchise. Mereka mengatakan sebenarnya manusia ini, rakyat ini tidak mempunyai hak untuk mengundi, and then hak untuk mengundi tu was being given by the state. Therefore the state should not blindly giving these people the right to vote. So this is the limited franchise punya idea lah. However, we shall look into the modern view in regard to the nature of this franchise. So universal franchise admitted that universal mean universal adult, which is refer to male and female. Thus, it may not grant the suffrage to those who are not capable to make decisions, such as minor, lunatics and also the aliens. So again, kalau kita tengok constitution kita pun, umur yang boleh yang boleh mula mengundi adalah umur 21. So kanak-kanak yang berumur bawah 20 mereka yang individu yang berumur bawah 21 tahun tidak dibenarkan untuk mengundi. Number 2, suffrage ataupun kita kata franchise ataupun kita kata right to vote is conferred by the state upon only such person that are believed to be the most capable of exercising their rights. Maksudnya exercising the right to vote for the public good and not a natural right. Like the limited franchise tadi bagi tahu kan. So this natural right which belongs without the distinction to all citizens of the state depends on the state's electoral laws. So again, there are a few requirement ataupun qualification to vote. For number 1 is according to citizenship. Number 2, maturity ataupun umur. Number 3, equal rights for voting. Tak kisah you OKU ke, you bukan OKU ke, as long as you reach 21 years and above, you have the right to vote. Number 4, registered voters. Number 5, kita ada voluntary election. And last but not least, kita ada compulsory election voting. So there are few groups that had always been excluded from the right to vote. Number 1, the minor. So in Malaysia, individual below 21 does not have right to vote. Number 2, the lunatics or idiots ataupun kita kata people who are unsound mind, tidak waras. Number 3, the aliens. Number 4, the criminals in confinement. Moving on, next topic kita nak tengok what are the factors that influence the voters. So why do people vote the way they do? So some factors are related to the voters and some are related to the candidates or the political parties. So there are few factors that shall look into. Number 1, in terms of sociological. So sociological, for example, like ethical values, civic duty, social pressures, parental influences and also etc. So sociological factors ni kita boleh tengok contohnya macam mungkin you mengundi pemimpin daripada sebuah parti politik tu kerana family you daripada zaman you punya moyang memang orang kata apa, memang kuat ataupun kita kata kuat kepercayaan kepada parti politik tersebut. Mungkin ada sesetengah orang dia menilai dari segi individu yang mentadbir parti politik tersebut. So itu kita kata dengan macam mana how voters vote a person according to what dia perceive lah. So ethical values, maybe sometimes ada orang dia mengundi seorang pemimpin tu because of his or her civic duty. Number 2, demographic factors. Demographic factors like gender, age and also residence. So these are one of the factors that influence the voters. Number 3, religion and also ethnic background. So people tend to vote parties or candidates from the same religion or ethnic group. So sama lah macam dalam Malaysia kan. Kita ada basically kita ada PAS, kita ada DAP. So kita pun boleh tahu macam mana orang kata apa mentality rakyat Malaysia ni. So masing-masing mempunyai kebebasan untuk berpolitik. So masing-masing, saya percaya masing-masing juga mempunyai kebebasan untuk menyokong mana parti politik. But again, in Malaysia we can see that there is some people tend to vote a political party just because that political party is in line with their religion. Number 4, due to social class, income and also occupation. So in United States, for example, like we have in United States, they have Republican and also Democrat. So basically untuk Republican ni, mereka kebanyakan mereka adalah datang daripada middle class. So orang kata bila kita kata middle class ni, so middle class ni very close to the people. So macam in Malaysia, middle class ni basically B40 and 40. So they know how struggle the people are. So they will run in the Republican. So Republicans are the upper and also middle classes that go for the grand old party that actually memperjuangkan anti-slavery expansion activists. Itu dekat US lah. Then they have Democrat. So Democrat ni is the lower classes that go for Democrat. So unions vote Democrat while professionals and business people support the Republican. So Demo 5. So the candidates itself. So the impression of a particular candidate makes on the voters that can have an impact of their preferences. Maksudnya calon tu sendiri, wakil rakyat tu tersendiri kan. So itu juga orang kata apa merupakan salah satu faktor yang akan mempengaruhi pengundi-pengundi untuk mencabut undi. Number 6, psychological factors, which is what is in the mind of the voters. For example, like their perceptions of party, candidates and also issues. Moving on, kita tengok how mass media influence the voters. So there are 6 main functions. So number 1, in terms of entertaining. So for example, like stimulate discussion of important issues by presenting them in a dramatic form. So macam-macam kan, macam-macam lah political party ni campaigning, collaborate dengan celebrity. So it's a part of entertainment lah, how you entertain the people. Number 2, reporting the news. So a primary function of the media in democratic society. Yes, again, news, kata apa, bilik-bilik berita, ini adalah merupakan salah satu fungsi mereka lah. Number 3, identifying the public problem. So, a crucial role that helps to set the public agenda. So, you boleh tengok Awani, Bernama, TV3, RTM, so on and so forth. Number 4, socializing new generations with the content of media, particularly television, offers children and also immigrants a view of the basic values. So, this is basically very popular in America. Number 5, you provide a political forum that offers citizens a way to participate in the public debate. And last but not least, making profit. So the various mass media are privately owned businesses. Therefore, it makes for a complex relationship and balance among the public opinion, government and also media.